Did you know that colon cancer is already the second deadliest type of cancer in the world, second only to lung cancer? And check out this statistic. A study by the American Cancer Society revealed that the incidence of this type of cancer has nearly doubled among young adults in recent decades. Scary, right? Colorectal cancer is one of those silent enemies. It doesn't show warning signs at first. It gradually settles in, quietly, and by the time it becomes noticeable, it has often already progressed. But what many people don't know is that more than half of colon cancer cases could be prevented with simple day-to-day changes. According to the American Institute for Cancer Research, over 40% of diagnoses are directly linked to lifestyle, especially diet. And that's where the real problem lies. The biggest culprits aren't exotic ingredients or bizarre habits. They're simple, common things that are part of many people's daily routines. That's why, in today's video, you're going to discover the 7 biggest villains that increase the risk of colon cancer, and understand why each one might be more dangerous than it seems. And the last one on the list is such a normal habit that you probably do it without even realizing. But before we dive in, tell us in the comments, do you usually take care of your gut health? Have you ever had a colonoscopy? Do you know anyone who had colon cancer? And of course, let us know where you're watching from. We love seeing how far this content is reaching. 7. Sedentary lifestyle. We all know that being sedentary is harmful. But when it comes to colon cancer, the impact goes far beyond just weight gain or everyday fatigue. According to researchers at Washington University School of Medicine, people who spend most of their time sitting have up to a 24% higher risk of developing colorectal cancer compared to those who move regularly. And the numbers are even more alarming when the sedentary behavior involves long periods in front of the TV. In that case, the risk of colon cancer jumps to 54%. It's not just the lack of exercise that matters, it's also the type of inactivity. Sitting still for long periods reduces blood flow to the intestines, disrupts metabolism, and promotes chronic inflammation, the perfect environment for abnormal cells to develop. The good news, you don't have to become an athlete to change this. Small actions make a difference. Walking a bit every day, taking the stairs, stretching every hour, all of that helps activate your gut and reduce the risk of serious diseases. The body was made to move, and so is your gut. 6. Low-fiber diet. Fiber acts like a kind of cleaning crew for your intestines. It helps push waste through, improves bowel movements, boosts digestion, and feeds the good bacteria that make up your microbiome, that invisible but essential ecosystem living in your gut that protects your health. The problem is that most people, especially in the United States, consume less than half of the recommended daily amount of fiber. This happens because the typical diet still revolves around white rice, white bread, cookies, and meat. Fruits, vegetables, seeds, and whole grains take a back seat. So what happens? Without enough fiber, toxins stay in contact with the intestinal wall for longer, increasing the risk of inflammation, cell changes, and even the formation of polyps, which can eventually turn into cancer. A study published in the British Journal of Cancer showed that every additional 10 grams of fiber consumed per day reduces the risk of colorectal cancer by about 10%. That's a huge difference for such a simple change. Switching white rice for brown rice, eating fruit with the peel, adding flax seeds or chia to your meals, it all counts. And it could literally save your gut. 5. Excessive consumption of ultra-processed foods. That healthy snack bar in the afternoon, the instant noodles you grab when you're in a rush, the stuffed cookies with your coffee. Ultra-processed foods have become part of many people's daily routine, and it's easy to see why. They're convenient, flavorful, and can sit on the shelf for weeks or even months. But that's exactly where the problem lies. These products are packed with chemical additives like preservatives, artificial colors, flavor enhancers, and stabilizers, all designed to make food look better, taste stronger, and last longer. The issue is, the human body wasn't built to handle these kinds of compounds on a daily basis. 2 large-scale studies, one in the United States and the other in Italy, involving over 200,000 people and published in the scientific journal The BMJ, showed that high consumption of ultra-processed foods increases the risk of developing various types of cancer by 29%, with colon cancer standing out in particular. And the impact doesn't come just from the additives. These foods are also low in fiber and high in sugar, unhealthy fats, and salt, a combination that disrupts gut function, fuels inflammation, and creates a perfect environment for cell mutations. The body does try to defend itself, but when ultra-processed foods become a daily habit, the risks add up, and the consequences can be silent and dangerous. 4. Excessive alcohol consumption. If you still believe that a little drink a day won't hurt, it might be time to rethink that. According to several health organizations, including the American Cancer Society, there is no safe amount of alcohol when it comes to cancer prevention. Alcohol is an inflammatory substance. It irritates the intestinal lining, disrupts the gut microbiota, and even worse, promotes DNA mutations in cells, creating the perfect environment for tumor development. And the effect doesn't require heavy drinking. Even social consumption increases the risk. Now, if alcohol becomes part of your routine, your gut will feel it and eventually make you pay for it. 3. Obesity and abdominal fat. Not all fat is the same, and abdominal fat, the kind that builds up around your organs, is especially dangerous. It's more than just a cosmetic concern. It's one of the biggest risk factors for colon cancer. This type of fat, known as visceral fat, directly interferes with how the body functions. It triggers chronic inflammation, disrupts hormone production, like insulin and leptin, and weakens the immune system, making it harder for the body to detect and fight potentially cancerous cells. A study by the National Institutes of Health found that people with a larger waist circumference have up to a 70% higher chance of developing colorectal tumors. Here, the warning is twofold. Maintaining a healthy weight and eating well are direct ways to protect your gut. Before we continue, I've got some exciting news to share. If you enjoy our content and want access to exclusive benefits, become a channel member. As a member, you will unlock some amazing perks like early access to new videos, priority replies to your comments, members-only shorts, polls, quizzes, and special emojis and loyalty badges just for you. Just click the join button and be part of this community that values health and well-being. Your support helps us keep bringing high-quality content for you. 2. Excessive sugar consumption. Sugar is everywhere, and it doesn't always appear clearly on food labels, but its effect on the body is always the same. It promotes inflammation, disrupts balance, and creates fertile ground for disease, including colon cancer. While sugar doesn't directly cause cancer, it helps create the perfect conditions for tumors to develop. That's because it raises insulin levels in the blood, and when this hormone is present in excess, it can stimulate uncontrolled cell growth, including cells that are already abnormal. At the same time, frequent sugar consumption triggers chronic inflammation, which weakens the body's natural defenses and leaves it more vulnerable. And, to top it all off, sugar also contributes to weight gain and insulin resistance, two factors directly linked to colorectal cancer. And the danger isn't just in the sugar you add to your coffee. Soft drinks, boxed juices, ready-made sauces, cookies, and even that yogurt that seems healthy often hide absurd amounts of sugar. A study published by the Osher Center for Integrative Health at the University of San Francisco showed that high glycemic diets, those packed with sugar and refined carbs, are strongly linked to an increased risk of colon cancer, especially among women. Swapping processed sweets for natural ones might seem tough at first, but over time, your taste buds adjust, and most importantly, your gut will thank you. 1. Eating burnt or improperly cooked meat. This is the biggest villain on the list, and also one of the most overlooked. Grilled meat, well done, with that dark, crispy crust and intense flavor, it might seem irresistible. But what most people don't realize is that the charred part hides substances that are highly toxic to the body. When meat, whether it's red meat, chicken, or even fish, is cooked at very high temperatures, especially over charcoal or a grill, it forms compounds known as heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs. According to studies by the American Institute for Cancer Research, both are directly linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. And it's not just meat. Overcooked French fries, heavily toasted bread, and even vegetables grilled for too long can release acrylamide, another compound associated with cancer. You don't have to give up barbecue or go to extremes. But you can avoid the burnt bits, trim off the excess char, and opt for gentler cooking methods like baking, boiling, or sautéing. How you cook your food matters a lot. Sometimes, it's not the ingredient itself, but the way it's prepared that turns a meal into a health risk. Foods that help heal the gut. Now that you've seen what can harm your gut, let's talk about the flip side, the foods that help protect and even heal this vital part of your body. Oats, for example, are true allies. High in soluble fiber, they support the good bacteria in your gut flora and help control bowel movements. Flax seeds and chia seeds also merit the spotlight. Apart from fiber, they are loaded with anti-inflammatory chemicals that support gut maintenance. Natural yogurt and kefir are potent sources of probiotics, live bacteria, that help restore balance to the gut flora, particularly following inflammation or antibiotic use. And there's more. Among the strongest natural anti-inflammatories is turmeric. Cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli and cauliflower have bioactive chemicals that help to prevent the growth of cancer cells. Garlic and onions not only enhance taste, but also offer detoxifying sulfur chemicals. To top it off, they help the liver and intestines get rid of toxins built up in the body, therefore enhancing your immune system. It's no exaggeration to say that the path to a healthy gut begins on your plate. Colon cancer symptoms. As we mentioned at the beginning, colon cancer is, unfortunately, often silent in its early stages. But the body does give signals, and learning to recognize them can make all the difference when it comes to early diagnosis. Changes in bowel habits, such as diarrhea or constipation lasting for several weeks, are among the first warning signs. The same goes for the presence of blood in the stool, something that should never be ignored. Frequent abdominal pain or discomfort, a persistent feeling of incomplete evacuation, unexplained weight loss, and ongoing fatigue can also be signs that something is wrong. If any of these symptoms appear regularly, don't wait for them to go away on their own. See a doctor and get the appropriate tests. When colon cancer is caught early, the chances of a cure are over 90%. Tests that help detect colon cancer. The good news is that this type of cancer is one of the easiest to detect early and has a high cure rate when caught in time. The main test is a colonoscopy, which allows doctors to view the entire length of the large intestine and even remove polyps before they become cancerous. There's also the fecal occult blood test, FOBT, a simple and effective screening that can indicate the need for further investigation. Another modern option is the stool DNA test, which detects genetic changes in cells shed in the stool, offering an even more refined way to identify potential risks. For those who prefer a less invasive approach, there's CT colonography, also known as virtual colonoscopy, which provides a detailed view of the colon without the need for instrument insertion. People over the age of 45 should include these tests as part of their regular health checkups. And anyone with a family history of colon cancer should begin screening even earlier. Your gut health starts on your plate. And now you know, what seems harmless, like a well-done barbecue or that lunchtime soda, might actually be feeding a silent risk. So tell us, which of these 7 factors did you think was the most harmful? Have you ever committed any of these mistakes before? If this content helped you, drop a yes in the comments. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this with someone who needs to see it. Thanks for watching all the way through, and see you in the next video.